Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly build wealth while others struggle paycheck to paycheck their entire lives? Look, I get it. You've probably been told that making money is about working harder, getting better jobs, or finding that one big break. But here's what's crazy. That's exactly what keeps most Americans trapped in the middle class forever. The truth is, wealthy people don't just think differently about money, they follow completely different rules. While the average person spends first and saves whatever's left over, the rich do the exact opposite. While most people chase one paycheck, millionaires create multiple income streams before they even need them. I've spent years studying how truly wealthy individuals, not the flashy Instagram rich, but the quietly wealthy who build generational fortunes, actually operate. And what I discovered will probably shock you. These 7 secrets aren't taught in schools, they're not discussed at dinner tables, and most financial advisors won't even mention them because they go against everything we've been programmed to believe. What I'm about to share with you are the exact principles that separate those who stay broke from those who build lasting wealth. If you're ready to stop looking rich and start becoming rich, comment wealth mindset below. And let's dive into these game-changing secrets that could transform your financial future forever. Secret number 1, first save, then spend. Most Americans have this completely backwards, and it's silently destroying their financial future without them even realizing it. Walk into any coffee shop on payday and you'll see the same tragic pattern playing out. People celebrate their paycheck by immediately spending it on things they think they deserve. The car payment, the mortgage, that new outfit, dinner out, streaming services, gym memberships they never use. Then, at the end of the month, they look at their bank account and wonder where it all went. Here's the brutal reality that nobody wants to admit. The average American saves less than 4% of their income. 4%. That means for every $100 they earn, they're only keeping $4 for their future. Meanwhile, they're making credit card companies, banks, and retailers rich with the other $96. Wealthy people flip this script completely, and it's not because they're special or have some magical willpower. They understand a fundamental truth that poor people never learn. You can't build wealth with leftovers. There are never any leftovers. Rich people pay themselves first, every single time money comes in. Before the mortgage, before the car payment, before that dinner out, they save. Warren Buffett didn't become worth over $100 billion by spending first and hoping for scraps. He automated his wealth building from day one. But here's an even more powerful example that'll blow your mind. There was a janitor named Ronald Reed who worked at a gas station and later at JCPenney for his entire life. Never made more than minimum wage, drove the same beat-up car for decades, wore safety pins to hold his coat together. When he died in 2014, he left behind $8 million. $8 million. How? He saved first, spent second, and let compound interest work its magic for over 50 years. The solution is brutally simple, but most people won't do it because it requires delaying gratification. Set up automatic transfers the day you get paid. 20% goes directly to savings before you even see it. Treat it like the most important bill you'll ever pay. Because it is. You're literally paying your future self. And what I'm about to say is what makes the difference between those who stay broke and those who build empires. Rich people don't save what's left over after spending. They live off what's left over after saving. This one mindset shift creates millionaires. When you flip the script and save first, something magical happens. You automatically adjust your lifestyle to fit what remains, and you discover you can live on far less than you thought possible. Secret number 2. Create multiple income streams. Here's where most people get it completely wrong, and it's costing them millions over their lifetime. They think job security comes from being really good at one thing, climbing the corporate ladder, and hoping their employer stays loyal. They put all their faith, all their time, and all their financial future into one single paycheck. But that's just the surface. what's behind it is what will startle people who've been playing it safe their whole lives. The cold, hard truth: job security is dead. Companies will lay off thousands of employees in a single day to boost their stock price. Your 20 years of loyalty mean nothing when the CEO needs to hit quarterly numbers. Meanwhile, you've spent 2 decades building someone else's dream while your own financial security hangs by a thread. The average millionaire has 7 different income sources. 7. While you're putting all your eggs in one basket, they're building an entire farm. One income stream makes you vulnerable to economic downturns, industry changes, and corporate greed. Multiple income streams make you virtually recession-proof. Let me tell you about Sarah Blakely, who started Spanx with just $5,000 while working full-time selling fax machines door to door. She didn't quit her day job immediately, like some reckless entrepreneur. Instead, she built her side business nights and weekends until it was generating serious money. She'd come home from work, research pantyhose manufacturers, and work on her business plan until midnight. For 2 years, she lived this double life. Today, she's worth over $1 billion, but she started by creating that crucial second income stream while keeping her primary income intact. Wait, there's something you need to pay attention to if you don't want to lose everything you've worked for. Don't mistake this for the hustle culture garbage you see all over social media. This isn't about working 80-hour weeks or burning yourself out with 3 side gigs. That's just trading more time for money, which isn't sustainable. The practical approach is this: start with what you already know. If you're good at your job, can you consult on weekends? If you're skilled at something, can you teach others? Can you create something once that pays you repeatedly, like an online course, a book, or a digital product? The key is starting small, proving the concept works, then scaling up systematically. But that's just the beginning. The most important part is building income streams that don't require your constant presence. Rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, royalties, or businesses that run without you. The goal isn't just multiple incomes, it's multiple passive incomes that free up your time to create even more wealth. Secret number 3: your most important asset is you. It sounds simple, but the hardest part is what's about to be told next, and most people completely miss this until it's too late. Most people treat their cars better than they treat themselves. They'll spend $500 on regular maintenance for their vehicle, but won't invest $50 in a book that could change their entire career trajectory. They'll research tire brands for hours, but won't spend 30 minutes learning about the stock market. Here's the devastating reality. While you're worried about your car depreciating, you're allowing your most valuable asset to depreciate even faster: your knowledge, your skills, your earning potential. These either grow or they die. There's no middle ground. And in today's rapidly changing economy, what got you here won't get you there. Look at any billionaire's schedule, and you'll find something fascinating. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages every single day. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Mark Cuban studies industries obsessively before investing. They didn't stop learning when they became successful. They became successful because they never stopped learning. Don't jump to conclusions about having natural talent or being born smart, because what comes next can change your perspective completely. There was a man named Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner, who transformed himself from a struggling lawyer into one of the world's wealthiest investors. How? He called himself a learning machine. He read constantly, studied multiple disciplines, and deliberately put himself in situations where he had to grow. At age 99, he was still learning new things every day. You think you've understood everything? There's a detail that few people notice, but it's extremely important. Your income is directly tied to the value you provide to the marketplace. If you increase your value, your income follows automatically. But most people do the opposite. They try to negotiate higher salaries without increasing their worth. The solution starts with brutal honesty. What skills do you have that others would pay premium prices for? What knowledge gaps are holding you back from the next level? What would happen to your income if your industry changed overnight? Here's your action plan. Invest at least 10% of your income back into yourself every year. Take courses, attend seminars, hire coaches, buy books, get certifications. Not someday when you have extra money, starting right now. Rich people understand that the best investment they'll ever make is in their own capabilities. And it's in the next section that many people make mistakes without even knowing it. They focus on hard skills while ignoring soft skills. Yes, technical knowledge matters, but communication, leadership, emotional intelligence, and sales skills will multiply everything else you know. Secret number 4, keep learning and become an expert. Wait, the most important part is in the following story, and it'll completely change how you think about expertise in the modern world. Most people stop learning the day they graduate or land their first real job. They think education is something you do once, get a certificate for, and then coast on for the next 40 years. That mindset is financial suicide in today's economy. Here's what's happening while you're standing still. Technology is advancing exponentially. Industries are being disrupted overnight, and the skills that made you valuable 5 years ago might be completely obsolete today. Meanwhile, those who commit to continuous learning are positioning themselves as the go-to experts in their fields, commanding premium prices and creating opportunities that don't exist for everyone else. Let me tell you about a mechanic named Dave, who saw the writing on the wall when electric vehicles started gaining traction. Instead of complaining about how EVs would ruin his business, he spent evenings and weekends learning everything about electric car maintenance. He took online courses, attended workshops, and even flew to California to train at Tesla's facility. Today, while traditional mechanics struggle to find work, Dave charges $200 per hour and has a 6-month waiting list because he's one of the few certified EV specialists in his area. But that's just the surface. What's behind it is what will startle people who think they can just wing it through their careers. Expertise isn't just about knowing more. It's about being perceived as the authority in your space. When people think of your field, your name should be the first one that comes to mind. I'll tell you something that many people regret for the rest of their lives, just because they didn't realize it in time. The window to become an expert in any field is getting smaller every year. What used to take decades now takes years, but only if you're intentional about it. You can't accidentally become an expert. Here's your blueprint. Pick one area where you want to dominate and go deep. Read everything written about it. Follow the top 10 people in that space. Create content about what you're learning. Teach others. Speak at conferences. Write articles. The goal isn't just to know your stuff, it's to be known for knowing your stuff. Do you see anything unusual? The answer is right here. The people making the most money aren't necessarily the smartest. They're the ones who are recognized as the smartest in their specific niche. Expertise without visibility is worthless. But expertise with visibility? That's a money-printing machine. And what I'm about to say is what makes the difference between amateur and professional level thinking. Experts don't just consume information, they synthesize it, apply it, and teach it to others. When you can take complex ideas and explain them simply, you've crossed over from student to master. Secret number 5. Invest in assets you understand. All of the above will be meaningless if you miss this crucial detail that separates successful investors from those who lose everything chasing get-rich-quick schemes. Most people invest backwards. They put their money into things they don't understand because someone else told them it was a sure thing. Cryptocurrency because their cousin said so. Stocks because some guru promised 300% returns. Real estate in markets they've never visited. Here's the cold truth that will save you from financial disaster. If you can't explain how your investment makes money to a 12-year-old, you have no business putting your hard-earned cash into it. Warren Buffett has a simple rule: never invest in anything you don't understand. This rule has made him one of the richest people alive. while countless others have lost fortunes chasing shiny objects. Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates this principle. During the dot-com bubble of the late 1990s, everyone was getting rich buying internet stocks. Companies with no profits, no clear business models, just .com in their name, were doubling and tripling in value overnight. Buffett was criticized for being old-fashioned because he refused to buy technology stocks he didn't understand. When the bubble burst in 2000, those genius investors lost everything, while Buffett's portfolio remained strong because he stuck to businesses he could analyze and understand. But that's just the obvious part. What I'm about to say is what makes the difference between long-term wealth building and gambling with your future. Understanding your investments isn't just about avoiding losses. It's about having the confidence to hold during market downturns and the wisdom to know when to buy more. The solution starts with honest self-assessment. What industries do you know well? What businesses do you interact with regularly? What trends do you see in your daily life? Start there. If you work in healthcare, you understand that sector better than most. If you're a teacher, you know the education market. Use your professional knowledge as your investment edge. Here's your action plan. Before investing a single dollar, spend at least 10 hours researching and understanding what you're buying. Read annual reports. Understand the business model. Know the competition. Identify the risks. If you can't do this homework, stick to broad market index funds until you can. And it's in the next section that many people make mistakes without even knowing it. They confuse speculation with investing. Speculation is hoping the price goes up. Investing is buying assets that generate income and grow in value because you understand why they should. Secret number 6. Be willing to take calculated risks. You think you've understood everything about building wealth? There's a detail that few people notice, but it's extremely important. The biggest risk isn't taking risks. It's not taking any risks at all. Most people are so afraid of losing money that they guarantee they'll never build significant wealth. They keep everything in savings accounts, earning 0.5% interest while inflation eats away 3% of their purchasing power every year. That's not being safe. That's slow financial suicide. Here's what separates the wealthy from the fearful. They understand the difference between stupid risks and calculated risks. Stupid risks are putting your life savings on red at the roulette table or investing everything in your brother-in-law's revolutionary app idea. Calculated risks are thoroughly researched decisions where you understand both the potential upside and the maximum downside, and you only risk what you can afford to lose. Let me tell you about Ray Kroc, who was 52 years old and struggling as a milkshake machine salesman when he discovered a small burger restaurant run by the McDonald brothers. He could have played it safe, kept his steady job, and retired with a modest pension. Instead, he took a calculated risk. He studied their operation, understood the franchise model, and mortgaged his house to buy the rights. That calculated risk turned him into one of the wealthiest men in America and created a global empire. Wait, there's something you need to pay attention to if you don't want to miss every major wealth-building opportunity that comes your way. The people who build massive fortunes aren't reckless gamblers. They're calculated risk-takers who do their homework. They research extensively, plan carefully, and then act decisively when they find opportunities others are too scared to pursue. But that's just the surface. What's behind it is what will startle people who playing it safe is actually safe. Your job isn't guaranteed. Your pension might not be there when you retire. Social Security is running out of money. The safe path isn't safe anymore. It's a guaranteed path to financial mediocrity. The solution is to develop your risk assessment skills. Start small with amounts you can afford to lose completely. Study the outcomes. Learn what works and what doesn't. Gradually increase your risk tolerance as your knowledge and experience grow. Here's your framework. For every opportunity, ask yourself 3 questions. What's the best case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? Can I survive the worst case? If you can survive the worst case, and the best case is significantly better than your current situation, that's a calculated risk worth taking. And what I'm about to say is what makes the difference between those who stay stuck and those who break through to the next level. Wealth building requires discomfort. If you're completely comfortable with all your financial decisions, you're probably not taking enough smart risks to build serious wealth. Secret number 7. Use money wisely and stop consuming. I'll tell you something that many people regret for the rest of their lives, just because they didn't realize it in time. They confuse spending money with using money. Every dollar you spend is gone forever. Every dollar you use wisely can multiply and work for you for decades. Most Americans are professional spenders, but wealthy people are strategic money users. Here's the painful truth about American consumer culture. It's designed to keep you broke. You're bombarded with 3,000 advertisements every day telling you that happiness comes from buying things. New car, bigger house, latest gadgets, designer clothes, expensive dinners. The average American household carries over $6,000 in credit card debt, paying 18% interest to banks while wondering why they can't get ahead financially. Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates this principle. There were two friends, Mike and John, who both earned $80,000 per year. Mike spent his money on a luxury car payment, an expensive apartment, designer clothes, and dining out frequently. He looked successful but saved nothing. John drove a reliable used car, lived in a modest apartment, bought quality basics, and cooked at home. He looked ordinary, but saved and invested $30,000 per year. After 20 years, Mike was still living paycheck to paycheck, despite earning good money. John had accumulated over $1.2 million and achieved financial independence. Same income, completely different outcomes. But that's just the obvious part. What I'm about to say is what makes the difference between those who accumulate wealth and those who accumulate stuff. Rich people ask different questions before spending money. Instead of, "Can I afford this?" they ask, "Will this make me money or cost me money?" Instead of, "Do I want this?" they ask, "Do I need this to achieve my goals?" Do you see anything unusual? The answer is right here. Wealthy people are extreme minimalists when it comes to consumption. They buy assets instead of liabilities. They invest in things that appreciate instead of things that depreciate. They understand that every purchase is a choice between current pleasure and future freedom. The solution requires rewiring your brain about money's purpose. Money isn't for spending, it's for creating more money. Every dollar should be working toward your financial independence. When you truly understand this, you stop seeing purchases as rewards and start seeing them as obstacles to your wealth-building goals. Here's your new decision-making framework. Before buying anything non-essential, wait 48 hours. Ask yourself if this purchase moves you closer to or further from financial freedom. Calculate what that money could be worth if invested instead. Most of the time, you'll realize you don't actually need or want the item. All of the above will be meaningless if you miss the last detail. The goal isn't to live like a monk forever. The goal is to live below your means now so you can live above your means later. Delayed gratification is the price of admission to the wealthy class. Now you know the 7 secrets that separate those who build lasting wealth from those who stay financially stuck forever. Save first and spend what's left. Create multiple income streams. Invest in yourself relentlessly. Become the recognized expert in your field. Only invest in what you understand. Take calculated risks that others are too scared to take, and use money as a tool for building wealth, not consuming stuff. But here's what matters most. Knowing these secrets means nothing if you don't act on them. Don't be like the thousands of people who watch videos like this, nod along, feel motivated for 20 minutes, then go right back to their old habits. Pick one of these 7 secrets and commit to implementing it this week. Not next month, not when you have more money, this week. Which secret resonated with you the most? Comment below and tell me secret number along with one specific action you're going to take in the next 7 days. This helps me know what content serves you best and helps other viewers see what's working for people just like them. And if you found value in this video, there's so much more where this came from. What other wealth-building topics would you like me to cover? Comment your suggestions below, and I'll make sure to address them in upcoming videos. Remember this, your current financial situation is not your permanent financial situation. Every millionaire started exactly where you are right now. The only difference is that they decided to follow different rules. These 7 secrets are your roadmap. Your financial freedom is waiting on the other side of your decision to start today.